Why you they laugh? They ask you questions, they laugh.
I think on that, I think we believe, the public believe that the Dangote Refinery can be a savior. However, I think from basically what I've learned from conversations with friends and colleagues, I think savior in the sense of availability, not really in price.
Hello everyone, my name is Esther Adaji, and today we'll be talking about the hike in the price of fuel and fuel scarcity. How has this affected you as a Nigerian? We will be having a conversation today with Abdul Karim Majid and beloved John. Well, Abdul Karim, how has this affected you as a Nigerian?
Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for that question, Esther, because it's a sad reality we find ourselves, let me say, in the country, to be honest. The lingering fuel scarcity and then suddenly the hike also by the marketers, the retailers of the PMS, petrol, in short. It's something that all Nigerians are feeling the brunt. All of us, nobody will say the thing or the touch, because we know that petrol is something that everyone needs to fuel their car for mobility, to transport goods here and there. And if the price of transportation goes up, definitely it affects all
everything.
Bam. You go market with pepper ordinarily when they say 100 naira before done 300.
Yours is 300. In my side is 1,000 naira.
Bam. Maybe you dey stay for my time.
Where do you live?
because but that's even by the way, it's 1,000 and you can afford it. But what about those who, let's say, used to buy that kind of, the 1,000 naira pepper is likely going to sustain them for like a week.
Yeah.
But now the quantity they will be buying for 1,000 naira is probably something that they will it's going to be a one-off thing.
Yeah.
So how are they going to cope? That's always the question in my mind. And then something like while the prices of things are going up, your income doesn't complement the skyrocketing prices of food item and even service goods and other goods and service in the country. Then you begin to wonder, how are you going to survive? Go now, I'm sure the price of bread, we were complaining before, because these are basic food that many Nigerians, even laborers, you see them go to buy 100 naira bread and coke that they can drink,
I doubt
keep their work.
100 naira bread at the moment.
Where you want to see them?
We don't.
No, where you want to see them?
Yeah.
Okay, so you see, during Buhari era, Buhari period, former President Muhammadu Buhari, you see, we saw a situation whereby bread that, sliced bread being sold for 350 climbed to 800 until when he handed over to President Tinubu. Then suddenly in January this year, we saw the bread climb to 2,000, like Chico, for instance. If you live within the axis of Lube, you get this very well. And it's usually the the best bread in quote that people would like to go for.
Relating to what you're saying, the best bread in my area as well, we started buying it at 500 naira. From 500 it went up to 600. From 600 it went to 1,500. Presently it's 2,000 naira.
Bam. So now between just I think like 2 months ago, let me shock you now. That Chico that we used to buy 2,000 climbed to 2,200 naira.
Wow.
So with this hike, it's obvious that that price will definitely change. You can't get that bread again. In fact, I even went to get and I didn't see Chico, and they were like, they don't relocate. I was like, we'll relocate to where? So you see that as the inflationary pressure keeps mounting, as the prices of things keeps going up, it's affecting even the small businesses. Some are folding up already, and all of that. Aside from maybe the fact that it has affected the purchasing power of many Nigerians, because now imagine you are earning like 30,000 naira. You go first they calculate the car. If I buy this pepper 1,000, tomorrow I know come again 1,000. Not be only pepper you take cook that soup. You need albasa, you need every other thing. You can't know the oga pata of them all. Rice.
I was just going to say that rice.
You know the oga pata of them rice. You see the federal government are now saying that they are selling rice to civil servants at 40,000 naira. No, even that 40,000 naira, how many civil servants can boldly say that they can dip their hand into their salary and just bring out 40,000?
So beloved, how has this increment impacted you?
So to say this, if our minimum wage really is even 17,000 naira, I don't know if that's been implemented, and a bag of rice is for 40,000. That's more than half of the minimum wage. Who can afford to buy that, really? Yeah, and he did mention rice. For me, for instance, now, when I came out on Wednesday and I saw what was happening, I didn't even get a car early. I didn't understand what was happening. Where are the cars? Where's everything? And then I realized there were no cars. The guys, I have never seen drivers angrier than they were on Wednesday. I think between Wednesday and Thursday, we currently have a lot of angry drivers. Okay, the price has changed. This is the new price. Are you going or not?
Wow.
Drivers would rather drive an empty car than to carry a passenger using the old price. That's how angry everybody is. Because you find that, okay, there's a scarcity, and then there's an increase in the price. I can't even buy it. Okay, now you've changed the price, but I can't still buy the fuel. I will spend 5 hours, 6 hours on queue to buy fuel, and then it's even at a more expensive rate. The time I should be using to work. Then I will now find the passenger. You're not telling me 300. If you're not paying 500, go. That's really how it is. Everybody's angry, and I know that basically in the last 2 days it has been. I noticed this shift, and I think a lot about how I moved to town from my former place of residence because I wanted to cut the cost of transportation, and I'm calculating it now and. I should have just stayed in my house. I'm calculating the new price. It was initially 300 to get a beggar. Now, beggar is 500. Beggar is 500. Or if you find somebody who wants to be, I don't even think you find somebody who wants to be.
From your place, from Lugbe to beggar now, 700.
Wow. I think my friend was telling me the other day from beggar to Duse is about 1,000 naira. 1,700, not less than that. And so I'm coming out to work. I'm calculating the price. I'll get to beg. I'll take another cab. Normally that should cost me about 200. Now it's 300. And they will not. Normally they will drop. Well, the cab I will take will drop me directly in front of the office. That's not what's happening. I will still have to trek a couple of minutes to get to the office.
You exercise.
And also my parents stay here. I'm thinking about the cost of getting home. It's different. That's even a whole new thing. Getting to I don't even think my sister is going to want to come here to my house again. The distance is a lot, and that price is twice the usual thing. So that is a lot of that's an issue. And then we now think of how this is going to affect the cost of other things. You are concerned, you're worried. And then you think about people who earn less than you do, like you said, people who earn way less than you do, and you wonder how they survive. How are people doing? People with kids, how are they surviving? People earn 30k really. I see job advert that will tell you need this and this, and your payment is 30k, payment is 50k, and then you have people that are married with family,
like us, like this.
You're an elite. You're an elite.
Like us, like this.
It's not about bills. The increment of rent, because I heard landlords are increasing rent as well.
You don't buy electricity recently.
And if this fuel price stays, that prices of houses are likely to go up even more.
They have started.
Yes, because I know when I moved out of my house at the time it was 250. When I was living, the landlord jacked it to 400.
Wow.
Yes, and I have friends who their rent went from 800 to 1 point something.
With the realities on ground.
Yes, So you think everybody is trying to look out for themselves. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Things are becoming very expensive. How can I survive in this very difficult economy?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be thinking about how the next person. I want to eat. It's when I finish eating that I will think of as my neighbor eating, So everybody's, I'm increasing my rent, this one is increasing the cost of things. Everything is just skyrocketing, and it's a mess. It's chaotic.
Do you guys think, I think I'll continue with Beloved. Do you think there's a disconnect between the government and the people?
Yes. I think there's a disconnect when you think about the reality. There's a place of privilege, and I think that's where government officials and political officials are. They're in a place of privilege. And then there are the people who are just downright in poverty. We have a lot of people in poverty. I think there's a data that says we have more people going into poverty. So yes, and so you find that they do not really understand what is the reality of the average person. Say for instance, the average driver. They probably don't even know that people are angry right now. They probably do not know that there are people who had to trek on Wednesday and on Thursday because they could not afford the new cost of transportation, that they did not even know ahead, that they just woke up one morning, came out to their regular 300 naira, and when they got to the bus stop, they realized that it is now 500. Yeah. They can't pay for that. They can't pay for that, and then they have to trek. I saw a lot of that on Wednesday and Thursday. People were trekking. I think I saw a woman. I was like, man, you have to enter this no cash. I can't go. So and then there are people up there who they don't even use cabs. They have cars and they're fine, They might complain a little, but they are comfortable. They're in a place of comfort. That's if they're complaining. So there's and the way the governance structure is, I think there's not much effort for the government to actually look down and see what is for the rules we are making, the policies we are making. How is it affecting the people that live in the country that we claim to serve? So do they care? Do they want to know? There's a disconnect between their reality. They're in a place of privilege. And because there's not much effort to see what is the actual reality of this person, they just make rules without actually thinking of the people who will actually bear the brunt of the rules and the policies they are making. I think that's what I believe.
Abdul Karim, do you agree with her or you do not?
I agree everything. I won't even add.
Adam.
Like I mentioned earlier, it's a sad reality, to be honest. When you hit the streets, you really feel the pulse of the people, especially when you go to the grassroots. You ask, for instance, a typical Nigerian senator, when was the last time they visited their villages? Their constituencies and all of that. In my head, I sometimes try to wonder how much is in the account of these guys. Yeah, because you see that some of them have been in governance for over 2 decades.
Yeah, true.
You understand? And they've been, holding on to power. From one appointment in this administration, look for a way, lobby, enter that one. So I now continue, I keep thinking, wondering in the sense that, I say, let's imagine that all the senators that we have, is it 109 and the 360
reps.
I just imagine, likewise all the, let's say, government, like governors across the 36 states, whatever it is that their salary is or their allowances are, every month, and let's imagine that they just say, okay, Nigerians, all these officials, political appointees, this, that, we are not going to pay you for this month. All the money, we'll use it. So no, I'm like, wait, I know it's not going to be. I'm like to show you where I've thought about. That is me now wearing my thinking cap. Yeah. I'm just thinking like, okay, let's imagine like we reported that each senator, a lawmaker earns 21 million. Yeah, you get the point now. 21 million in records 20 and gets 21 million, including allowances. Even that's not like their basic, salary, but with all the add-ons they get 21 million. Of which I know some of them get more than that. Yeah, you understand? With all that chua, you get good. So what I'm now saying in essence is that let's just imagine that they say all this thing that they take every month. Yeah. They just say, okay, Nigerians, we are not taking it. Like this rice that they are distributing, saying that people should still be paying 40,000. Yeah. They now say, okay, we'll use all the salaries that we are supposed to pay these officials for, like, let's say, between September now and December. Did you think it will scratch them?
It will not.
It will not. To be honest with you, it will not.
Yeah.
So you now imagine whereby why we say people are going hungry, but even our leaders cannot make sacrifices. I think that's real
Yeah.
sacrifices.
Yeah.
It's not political sacrifices where you say, we are
sacrifices.
you know.
Yeah.
And you know how insensitive our government can be, Karim? They can now decide that they are doing a palliative for themselves. You now call it hardship palliative for lawmakers. They will now buy cars. Our lawmaker needs cars. They'll probably order G-Wagon this time. You know, that's how insensitive we can be.
Yeah.
So where I'm actually driving to is the fact that even when we know that okay, this is the reality on ground, so you go to, like Beloved mentioned, if you go like to Dugbe in the morning, wake up when people want to go to work, look at the crowd of people waiting.
I witnessed that yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one small. That yesterday when you witness. That yesterday when you witness, is small. Just go to you see which side where you witness I'm from.
It's in town here. You know all these places where people enter cars to go to Maraba, to go to Lube, there were a lot of people.
No, that Maraba you mentioned, I will tick that one for you. You see that route.
Yeah.
Lube. Because people are coming from places where they feel like they can afford, the houses and all of that. So those places that they are coming from. So if you ask me, I would say that the connection between the government and the people, like I told you earlier, the government are here, the people are here. Even if you see them.
Like the second class.
So if you are trying to make policies to safeguard those people you claim voted you into office, and you are not even having that conversation with them. You see, when you travel, let's say, as journalists, when we travel for conferences, you can sit with your minister like this abroad, and you'll be discussing. But once you come back to this our Niger, go even see them for eye, say make una talk. So a situation whereby the minister, the people you say you are governing, you are making laws, anything, you don't even know what they are passing through. You don't know what they need at this point in time. Like it's like someone that is tasty. You carry Coke, juice, give them. Solve the person problem until you give them that water. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you are saying that Nigerians are hungry, they are this, they are that, some people no believe say hunger dey Nigeria.
That's true.
Because hunger never wire person picking before among these guys wey we dey talk about. They no know wetin dem dey call hunger. You don't see some of, in fact, when we dey talk say fuel queue, tell me how many of them you see for the fuel queue.
I don't see any of them.
You understand?
Probably their drivers.
We cover even the so-called the driver.
Yeah.
That driver wey you see for there, maybe na the car wey they wan carry go market or something. Now they just say you just go stay there. The other cars, those cars that are minister wey go stay when you go to cover press conferences, those ones pack those hefty Lexus that will be steaming. Where those ones dey buy fuel?
True.
So you see, just like Beloved mentioned, is insensitive you call them, that language. You see it is obvious, it's glaring. So now bring it back to the issue of Nigerians day-to-day survival skill. Let's say adaptation is the adaptation is why you dey laugh?
So thank you very much for that, Abdulkarim. Do you have any idea why we keep having the same issues over, like the hike in price, the fuel scarcity? Do you think these issues will be resolved anytime soon?
With the way the thing they go, no be today it start now.
Yeah.
It start like this at all. Start like this. It's years of our leadership failure that keeps mounting up to this. So we are trying to do stuff now. there's what they call insanity. You are trying to do something you are doing something the same way and you are expecting a different result. It's not possible. Do you understand me? Then, because they say government is a continuum, if we have brilliant policies in this country, if you ask me.
But they are not being implemented.
Even the implementation that some of them is usually implemented haphazardly. So it's like a building, a house. You want to build a house, you know that I want to build 5-story building. You are now using, the foundation is now like this. With that 5-story building, you no go fit stand now, you can't carry. Do you understand? So we should not deceive ourselves. So when, let's say, PDP enter now, we will now abandon all what APC has been doing in the past.
We do in Nigeria. I don't understand.
So that's our problem. Do you understand me? That's our problem. So if you look at it, Buhari came with their agri policy, the what is it called, Anchor program, this, that rice pyramid, no even just pull mouth for them. Maybe that the rice pyramid they can't see they sell to Nigerians now. We don't know, but I just don't want to go into that. So by the time you look at the failures of government from every administration, the inability of government officials to stick to the plan, the roadmap that is what is bringing us to. I will just put it that way, that we are not sensitive, we are not consistent with what we're doing, and when this government comes, they tend to derail from the original plan and just take us to where I feel like I won't go.
So, beloved, do you have anything to add to
I'd say that another thing that I think is important to point out is the fact that the oil sector is one that is shrouded in secrecy. There's a lack of transparency, particularly in that sector, and there are lots of questions that people have. Both the average person, both the elite, the traders, everybody have questions, but there's so much secrecy around the sector that nobody seems to have answers about it. And like he said, there's a lack of continuous effort to policies that have been implemented. So when you say this is going to end, I think that's one of the questions we all have. Is it really going to end? How is that going to happen? We already have a faulty foundation, like you pointed out. So how are we going to address it?
It's worse.
Do they even want to address it? Do they care enough to want to address it?
So do we see the Dangote Refinery as the savior?
Why you they laugh? They ask you questions, they laugh.
I think people, we believe, the public believe that the Dangote Refinery can be a savior. Alright, I think from basically what I've learned from conversations with friends and colleagues, I think savior in the sense of availability, not really in price. And the kind of support and love Dangote currently have with Dangote has with drivers and people across the country, particularly the poor people. They seem to be, there's a general opinion that when it starts to supply for the price will come down to say 100 naira and all of that. And something might be wrong with that. I would just say that.
No, but to be fair to that man, I love the man doggedness, it's very proactive for him to even think, due to following decades of, Port Harcourt Refinery will start begin work today. Kaduna Refinery. Then their money, being voted for, repair to fix this, and all of that. And even if you talk anything about this money. This man now wake up, say, okay, he won't do it fine. And then look at the controversy that ensued when the refinery is about to kick off. Then you begin to wonder, you mentioned Kaba the other time. In Yoruba, they say, I want ye. So you see where they sit on your head, you go first even they think, waiting they do, you wonder. So looking at all of these, it's glaring that the issue of accountability and lack of transparency within the oil sector over the years, and knowing that our budgetary allocation every year, the revenue to fund the budget usually comes from what we get from proceed from the crude oil sales and all of that. But lack of transparency and accountability actually brought us here.
Yeah.
NNPC, for instance, if you look at their financial earnings, the more you look, the more confused
The
you
less
get.
you understand.
You understand me?
Yeah.
So you just see, and also years of decades of deceit from these guys who are supposed to run their affairs properly. I think it's what actually brought us here. So whether it will change, of course, Buhari era say they promise us change. We don't see
we
it.
know see
Now
the change.
no, we see the change. We see the change. Renewed hope. So we are hopeful that things will change, but the direction is tilting towards is not what is palatable to many Nigerians. We are all feeling the brunt, and to be honest, it's not funny.
It's not.
It is not funny.
You can see us laughing, but it's
yes,
not.
but that's one of the attributes that Nigeria has. This our ability to talk.
adapt.
Even that adaptation, they say, is the skill, is the way to survive. Tough environment. We tolerate things, and even in this hardship, you see our skit makers still making us laugh and all of that. So I just really, really hope that things change for the good. People are suffering. When you hit the streets, you know that people are suffering.
True.
What people are earning cannot complement to the pace at which the prices of things are going up. And there's really, even the 70,000 minimum wage. I don't think the 70,000. You don't go market recently.
Yes, I have.
You don't go. You buy fish.
Chicken that I used to buy.
You don't even chop chicken.
Wait now, chicken that I bought chicken in June for, was it 10,000 naira? I went back to the market just last week to buy the same chicken and it went for 18,000 naira. And I asked the guy, the way we go like this, how Christmas will be? He was laughing.
Okay, now chicken you mentioned.
Yeah, chicken.
Chicken.
When I think about the entire situation, but particularly early in the year, I describe this as the boiling frog story. This time last year, I would picture what it would be like if things got worse. And I was thinking, we can't survive it. I was genuinely concerned. And now it's a year after that, and we are in a worse situation, and we are adapting somehow. Just like when you turn the heat slowly, you notice. But the thing now is that it seems like it's not even slow anymore. That they're turning it fully, and the rate at which they are turning the change in temperature is very high. It's not just slowly anymore, because the way things went from 1,000 to 2,500 in a day, in 1 week.
But you now know the fun, the irony about all of these things. You see there are some things that even if this fuel they call them 2,000 naira per liter, you go buy them.
Yes.
That's a sad reality.
That you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my own ground is that I know say many things no go up. But how much do they pay these guys?
So viewers, that is it. We've come to the end of our conversation. I hope you enjoyed it. Well, we urge the government to try to come in touch with reality and with the common man on the street. They need to understand what these people are going through. And for the NNPC, there should be transparency and accountability on how oil is being produced. Thank you for joining us. I am your host, Esther Adaji, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.